The Matrix Resurrections is a 2021 American science fiction action film produced, co-written, and directed by Lana Wachowski. It is the sequel to The Matrix Revolutions, 2003, and the fourth installment in the Matrix film franchise. Keanu Reeves, Carrie-Anne Moss, Jada Pinkett Smith, and Lambert Wilson reprised their roles from the previous films, and they are joined by Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, Jessica Henwick, Jonathan Groff, Neil Patrick Harris, and Priyanka Chopra Jonas. The film is set 60 years after Revolutions and follows Neo, who lives a seemingly ordinary life as a video game developer troubled with distinguishing dreams from reality. A group of rebels, with the help of a programmed version of Morpheus, free Neo from a new version of the Matrix and fight a new enemy that holds Trinity captive. Following the release of Revolutions, the Wachowskis denied the possibility of another Matrix film. Warner Bros. Studio constantly expressed interest in reviving the franchise, hiring Zach Penn to write a new screenplay after the Wachowskis refused every offer to create more sequels. In late 2019, a fourth Matrix film was finally announced, with Lana Wachowski returning as director without her sister Lily, and Reeves and Moss reprising their roles. Filming started in February 2020, but was halted the next month by the COVID-19 pandemic. Wachowski considered abandoning the film, but the cast insisted that she finish it. Filming resumed in August and concluded 3 months later. The Matrix Resurrections premiered in Toronto on December 16, 2021, and was released theatrically and via the HBO Max streaming service by Warner Bros. Pictures on December 22, 2021. The film grossed over $156 million worldwide on a production budget of $190 million, making it a box office failure. The film received a nomination for Best Visual Effects at the 75th British Academy Film Awards. Storyline: Thomas Anderson is a successful video game developer, creator of the Matrix video game series based on his faint memories as Neo. At a local coffee shop, Anderson keeps crossing paths with Tiffany, a married mother with no recollection of her past, on which Anderson based Trinity, a character in his game. Anderson struggles at times to separate perceived reality from dreams. His therapist prescribes him blue pills to suppress the occurrences, which he stops taking. Anderson operates a simulation called a modal, a programming sandbox created to develop game characters. A young woman named Bugs learns that the modal is running old code in a loop, enacting the moment when Trinity first found Neo within the Matrix. Bugs discovers a program embodying Morpheus and helps free him before Anderson's business partner, Smith, can erase the modal. Although Neo was presumed dead, Bugs and Morpheus trace him to Anderson and extract him from the Matrix, learning that Smith is actually Agent Smith. Neo awakens in a pod and notices Trinity confined in another one nearby, as machines sent by Bugs retrieve and transport him to Bugs' ship, the Nemesis. Neo is brought to the human bastion called Io, where he reunites with Niobe. She explains that 60 years have passed in the real world since the Machine War, and human survivors have allied with machines that have defected to join human society. Though Neo wants to rescue Trinity, Niobe opposes and instead locks him up. Bugs and her crewmates disobey Niobe to assist Neo in freeing Trinity. After entering the Matrix, they are intercepted by Smith and other exile programs who want the Matrix restored to its former form. In the ensuing fight, Neo manages to defeat Smith as his abilities gradually return. They leave and locate Tiffany, but before Neo can talk to her, his therapist appears and immobilizes him by manipulating time. He reveals his identity as the Analyst, a program designed to study the human psyche. He explains that after Neo and Trinity's deaths, he was able to resurrect them to study them. He found that suppressing their memories, but keeping them in close proximity to one another made the Matrix more power efficient and more resistant to the anomalies that caused the previous iterations to fail. Neo's liberation, however, destabilized the system and triggered a failsafe to reboot the Matrix. The Analyst stalled the reboot by convincing his superiors that threatening to kill Trinity would get Neo to voluntarily return to his pod. Neo and Bugs forcibly exit the Matrix when another ship sent by Niobe brings the Nemesis back to Io. Niobe takes Neo to Sati, an exile program he previously met. Seeking to avenge her parents' death at the hands of the machines, Sati helps devise a plan to free Trinity. Back in the Matrix, Neo makes a deal with the analyst. He will return to his pod if he fails to convince Trinity to become aware of her own past and the Matrix. As Neo speaks with Tiffany, her family appears, enticing her to stay. She initially gives in, but soon after rejects them, recalling her true identity as Trinity. Realizing he has lost, the analyst attempts to kill her, but Smith intercedes, seeking revenge for his own imprisonment. Neo, Trinity, and the others escape. As the last ones to be extracted, Neo and Trinity become cornered atop a skyscraper. Holding hands, they leap off hoping Neo is able to harness his flying ability, but instead Trinity gains the ability and flies them to safety. With Trinity's newfound control over the Matrix, both return to confront the analyst, who now assumes a submissive posture. They sarcastically thank him for a fresh start, which they intend to use to remake the Matrix as they see fit. Did you know? Nemesis, Bugs' ship's name, in Greek mythology is the muse of memory, as well as the mother of muses. This will be the first Matrix film to be shot digitally, unlike the first 3 films which were shot in Super 35 format. At 148 minutes, this will be the longest Matrix film as of release. The exterior shots of the simulate coffee shop were actually that of Joe and the Juice, a real coffee shop located at 235 Montgomery Street in San Francisco's financial district. For the movie, costume designer Lindsay Pugh commissioned British eyewear maker Tom Davies to craft a new range of iconic sunglasses for the film. Known for his eyewear creations for various films, Tom Davies has crafted 200 bespoke character-defining frames featured in the 4th installment in the Matrix series. Aside from outfitting actors, Davies is now offering a limited edition collection of eyewear to the public on the website. See you later. Thanks for the subscription.